Hey everybody, it's Steph Mischuk. In this vlog, I'm going to talk about the new Samsung Note 7 versus the iPhone 7. And this is going to have a coder or a developer's point of view, a developer's slant. So my last phone, the current phone that I'm using, is a Nexus 5, which is a Google Android phone, the stock Android, the base vanilla Android. And I went with Android because, well, that's what I've been using for years now. I've never used an iPhone, although I do have an iPad, so it's very similar. And I just wanted to have my hands in Android to be familiar enough with Android just to have a feel for it. And that's important as a developer to understand the different platforms out there: Android, OS, iOS, Windows, Mac, Linux to a much lesser extent. But it's good to know the different platforms so you have a feel for what it is. And there is an undefined, tangible advantage to understanding these platforms. I'm not saying you need to be able to code against all these platforms, but it's just a good thing to know, just to get familiar, just see how user interfaces are working, how the big boys are dealing with UI, user experience, the icons, and all this kind of stuff. It's just interesting to understand these trends because understanding the trends in software is going to help you to stay ahead of the game so you can position yourself in terms of the skills that you have or the services that you offer in the marketplace. So I've been looking at I went and just checked out the Note 7, and I was going to shoot a video of me playing with the Note 7, but you can find 10,000 videos out there in terms of people, saying, yeah, you press on this button that does this and that. My impression is the Note 7, very impressive device in terms of the hardware. That wraparound screen gives you kind of a cool bezel-less feel to it. I was not too impressed with the responsiveness of it. It's fast, but it's no faster than my old Nexus 5, although it's a bigger screen than my Nexus 5. My Nexus 5, I believe, is a 5-inch screen, and the Note 7 is a 5.7 inch, I think it is, or 5.5 inch rather. It seemed a little, and in the icons, it was not stock Android. It was the Samsung candy-ish type of icon, so I wasn't impressed. I think overall, I get the impression that iOS is a more refined operating system. And that's why when you look at the hardware, the iPhone, they have less RAM and so on. But because of the operating system is more refined than Android, it moves very nicely, very smoothly. So, but at the end of the day, you're really quibbling in terms of which one is better because it really depends on what you're looking to do. The general comment that you hear is that you want flexibility, you go with Android. If you want something easy, you just do it. You want the Apple ecosystem, you go with iOS. What am I going to choose ultimately? My major thing for me though is browsing the web, checking my email. I use Gmail, and I'm not sure. I heard that the apps on iOS for Gmail are fantastic, so I'm concerned about that. Google Maps, and finally the camera. Since people like the vlogging that I do now on YouTube, right now I'm using my point and shoot here, which shoots very high quality video, but it's inconvenient. And so I hear that the new Samsung right now has the best built-in camera out there apparently in terms of the smartphones, and it does really good job. But I'm gonna wait to see what iPhone 7 does, which is coming out for the next 2-3 weeks. That's the guess anyway. And so I'm leaning towards getting iOS just because I want to get something different. I want to try something new since I've never had an iPhone before. So keep that in mind. Again, from a developer's point of view, to bring it back again, it's good to expose yourself to different user interfaces, different operating systems, different languages. It just opens your mind to different possibilities. For instance, when I jumped from Java into C# ASP.NET, my Java got better. and so on and so forth. So I can mention the different languages. As you learn more languages, programming languages, markup languages, and so forth, you will get better at the previous languages you've done because they all share common traits. And then by comparing one to the other, you'll be able to get a much better feel for what it is you are doing overall. So if you take it to, I'm trying to come up with another analogy, but it's like working with cameras. My Lumix here, but I have it's a mirrorless camera, so it's one of those compact cameras, but it has all the capabilities it has all the capabilities of a DLSR, one of those big pro cameras. So I can control shutter speed and f-stop and sensor sensitivity, and a few other, everything. It's all there, and I'm far from a camera expert. I'm starting to get know my way around it, but by working with this camera, then if I jump to another camera, I'll be able to start comparing and contrasting how each of these cameras handle different things. And overall, it'll just make me better at using the cameras to do my work. So there you go. That's my vlog. Do I think one is better than the other in terms of iPhone 7? iPhone 7 is not out yet, but from what I've seen, iPhone 6s, in terms of speed and capability, it's very comparable to the brand new Note 7. Although Note 7 has much more flexibility because you get that pen, you can write notes, and I'm not sure how much I would use that or not, but they're both compelling. They're both compelling devices, and I think, by the way, more and more people are just going to have smartphones for their computers. I see very soon, if it's not already there, where you could just put your iPhone or you put your Google Android phone or whatever phone on your desk, and then it projects to a monitor, and then it connects to a Bluetooth keyboard, and you pop open your spreadsheet, you pop open your word processor, you pop open your editor, you do everything, you store all your stuff on the cloud, and that's where I think it's going to go. The towers and stuff, that's more for just power users and big time gamers. I think most people buy laptops these days, and soon they'll be going to hybrid laptops and like the Surface Pro, which is a laptop slash tablet hybrid. That's my Windows machine. That's what I use. My Windows machine now, my Windows 10 machine is essentially a tablet, believe it or not. So here you go. This is my Surface Pro 4. It's a tablet. This is my main machine. It's a tablet. It's a cool tablet, unlike the Apple's iPads. It's got this kickstand here. This is huge because then I can place it on my desk on any angle, and I got this one connector right here, and it allows me to power up to 4 2K displays. So this is amazing to me that this thin device is my main Windows work machine. It's very powerful. It's got an i5 in here. I got 16 gigs of RAM. Does a great job. It's a great tablet as well, although with their latest updates, as typical stupid Windows fashion, they've been screwing it up a little bit, slowing it down, unfortunately. But it's still a really good device. So there you go. That's the future of computing. It's enough of my rambling. Ciao.